Okay, so we're going to be talking about, I can't believe that I have to clear this up. I would have thought that people are smarter than this, but I guess not. So we're going to talk about this rhetorical point usually Muslims make, and they'll say something like, well, if you use relative identity, you are conceding to the LPT, because you're conceding that if we use Leibniz's law, then you're going to get three gods. So I succeeded in my argument or whatever. First, let's go over what an argument is. What is an argument? Well, in this form, where the arguments being presented are taking the structure of a deductive argument, right? Therefore, we're saying given a valid inference rule, the premises lead to a conclusion, given two or more premises. So, given the premises are true, right? You can't have an argument succeed and one of the premises is not true. Otherwise, you have an unbeatable argument. That means you have an argument that even if the premises are true, the conclusion follows. You've somehow created the strongest structure of an argument never before seen. Well, you have a lot of people out there running around saying that because we use relative identity, we've conceded to the LPT, because the LPT assumes Leibniz's law. And if you change the form of identity, then you are conceding to the fact that if you use Leibniz's law and classical logic, you'll end up with three gods. So therefore, the argument follows. Okay, well, if the argument is the LPT as it standardly ran, right, then we're not conceding to the LPT because we're denying one of the premises, right? We're denying, depends how the LPT is ran, but somewhere in there is going to be Leibniz's law, and we're denying it. So we're denying one of the premises. It's very simple. How can an argument succeed if you deny the premises? I can't believe I even have to say this, but somehow this has spread, mostly amongst Muslims, who are saying that if you use relative identity, you are conceding to the LPT. Somebody explain to me what is being conceded. Is the concession the fact that if you did use Leibniz's law, then there would be some contradiction, or then there would be three gods? If that's what you're saying, then you're just saying if my premises were true, the conclusion would follow. For all my geniuses out there, that's true of any argument. I can construct an argument right now saying that. If what the Bible says is true, the Quran is false. What the Bible says is true, therefore the Quran is false. And you say, well, I deny premise one. And then I say, well, if you accepted premise one, if premise one is true, then the conclusion would follow. Therefore, my argument succeeded. I just sound not very smart, do I? Right? Don't sound very smart saying that. Well, no kidding. If the premises are true, the conclusion is going to follow. It's trivial. That's true of any argument. Wow, this is like, we can't even talk about Leibniz's law if we have to go over things like this. Because this is like we're taking two steps back. And it really makes me question whether or not these people are understanding what they're talking about when we get into things of logic, or they are just regurgitating ChatGPT or other people's talking points.